No individual in this country, irrespective of political affiliation, has the right to decide innocence or guilt. I'm saying that on your channel.
Now, Smriti, we have to get the others also in. Well, no. One second. Uma Bharti says Asaram used to criticize Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, and hence I have a feeling there is a political motive behind a rape charge. I'm getting in Harsimrat. Farhan Akhtar, welcome to the debate. Welcome to the debate. Harsimrat Badal.
Nobody in this country can give guilt or innocence, can determine
please don't, please, Smriti, let us be very honest with each other today. And as I go to Harsimrat Kaur Badal, my fine is, we know that all political parties get together to overrule the Supreme Court judgment to debar criminals from holding their posts. So you will defend your own.
Exactly.
You will defend your own.
I wanted to speak on that.
You will defend your own. These people are also criminals today who carried this out.
That's the point I wanted to make.
Okay, Shazia, come in, and then after that, Harsimrat Kaur. Yeah.
Arnab, really, it's time to put our money where our mouth is. Why are both the parties, the biggest parties, why are both the parties so diffident when it comes to the Supreme Court ruling on barring criminals? If they really want to give a chance to the criminals who have been charge-sheeted, mind you, in serious charge sheets at that, why can't they have fast-track courts? Why can't they have legislative reforms? Why can't they have fast-track courts where they have a chance to prove their innocence in a limited duration and then contest elections? What is this compulsion to have the same old people with criminal backgrounds who have been charge-sheeted with serious sections, booked under serious sections, to be contesting elections? What is this compulsion? I do not get that. Also, for how long will we see this entire, every rape that happens in this country from the prism of BJP government, Congress government, Muslim, Hindu, how long will this go on? I mean, it's become a joke. What about gender justice? What about gender parity? Why can't these leaders get together and talk about socialization, the studies, the curriculum, the judiciary, the investigative processes, instead of just the same old blame game? Not one concrete thing has come away from them ever since the Nirbhaya case and even before. I mean, it's nauseating, really.
Even tonight,
saying Asaram Bapu, clean chit, anti-BJP.
Even tonight, Harsimrat Kaur Badal. One second, let's get an opening round done. Harsimrat Kaur Badal.
Predictable.
No, we are getting predictable because the fact is we look at it through a political prism. Today, the Congress party says don't demonstrate, don't make it political. They did the same politics in Madhya Pradesh when an incident happened a few weeks back. So everyone has made it thoroughly political.
But why not?
And the focus on using rape as a political tool against each other has diluted the focus on tackling rape. And when you ask about the death penalty, then everybody gets holier than thou. Harsimrat Kaur Badal, are you, for example, willing to consider the death penalty as a real way to strike fear in the hearts of rapists?
I've listened very patiently. Just give me a minute, Arnab. If increasing the penalty and increasing the sentence was a deterrent, I don't want to get into that. But
why?
I would just
Why don't you want to get
that
into it?
instead of pulling in all the parties into, just let me finish 1 second. Give me a minute and I'll tell you exactly why. I think it's time that we all need to rise above this tutu meme and come down to the concrete things that need to be done on the ground. It is not the few politicians that you can clean up the political system that's going to end the crime in our country. If we look at the rape cases, there are over 1 lakh cases pending in the last 1 year, out of which only 14,000 went to trial, out of which 11,000 were acquitted. So there is a problem in society.
No, by that logic, you will never have tougher laws for anything.
There's a 1 second, one second, give me a minute. I just asked for a half a minute. There is a problem that the judiciary is not doing the convictions fast enough. There is a problem that the political parties are not making their police accountable. According to me, these are the 3 things that need to be addressed. If a state government makes its police accountable, if a molestation or a rape takes place, if a crime against women takes place, the message to the police has to be zero tolerance, head should roll. 1 minute, head should roll in the state. Judiciary has to buck up. You cannot have 1 lakh pending cases and only 14,000 being tried and 11,000 being acquitted.
One second.
That's the conviction rate is less than 20%. If there is no fear of the law, If there is no fear of the police, no fear of the court, why is the crime going to decrease?
If the law is not tough, why will there be fear of the law? If there is no...
There will be fear if someone feels he is going to get caught. Today there is no fear of getting
caught. So these people have got caught. No, one second. One second. So these 5 rapists here have got caught, right? An unfortunate thing, they'll also be back on the streets very soon.
No, only one has got caught.
If there are 10 also caught tomorrow, they will be out on the streets very soon. Right? You can take your positions as politicians and academics. I'm asking you as a citizen. I don't feel secure. If the same 5 people are going to be on the streets of Lower Parel in Mumbai tomorrow. And unlike politicians, citizens...
I agree with you, Arnab, make it death. I'm agreeing with you, make it death penalty. But if that trial doesn't end for the next 20 years, does it matter that he is going to get death penalty after 20 years?
So we agree.
If the police cannot get their act together and catch the other 5 people, does it matter that it's death penalty?
So we agree, it's not this versus that. I don't know why it's a this versus that debate. Whenever I ask about the death penalty, the standard answer...
No, it's not
the standard answer is... The standard answer is... The standard answer...
It's a combination of 3 things.
No, whenever I ask for tougher laws...
how to change those 3 things.
No, whenever I ask for tougher laws, the standard answer is, oh, you are so hawkish. Or, well, let's change the judicial system and make it better. And my answer is, well, we've been waiting for the judicial system to become better. And you know what? We're losing our patience now. Farhan Akhtar, what do you think? Do you think tougher laws can make a difference? Let's get Farhan in, please. Let's get Farhan in, then we have two studio panelists who haven't spoken yet.
Thank you very much. Arnab, firstly, I want to agree with Shazia completely. I think that there needs to be a complete decriminalization from the executive body of this and the administration. There is a criminal element that needs to be rooted out, needs to be weeded out. And only when that happens can there be clean minds and clean conscience of these people to pass bills or laws that have slightly stronger effect, that don't affect them in the days to come, which is one. Secondly is, when you talk about the death penalty, I think for the longest time I would say I'm not for the death penalty, but the fact is that given the rising crime, given the rising brutality, not just against women of a particular age, it's against children. They're not safe in school buses, they're not safe in schools, they're not safe on the streets.
Absolutely.
Women are not safe in their offices,
they're not safe
in any transportation that they travel in, they're not safe at home, they're not safe in police chowkis, they're not safe anywhere.
Said.
So now if you are not safe anywhere, the only thing that can instill fear into a person's mind is that the punishment meted out to me for doing something against them is going to be extremely severe. So whether that is the death penalty, then by all means it should be the death penalty.
Absolutely.
The fact is that also there needs to be there have to be timelines.
That doesn't happen.
There have to be ma'am, I'm coming to it. There have to be timelines within which cases are dealt with. They cannot go on for 10 years and 12 years.
Absolutely.
I'll give you an example of a very different kind of case. A case where an Indian student was murdered in the UK in December 2011. It was a racial crime. Within 7 months, the perpetrator of that crime was sentenced to 30 years in prison, and that immediately sealed in people's heads that you will not have the freedom to try and indulge in crimes of this manner. If you do, you will be sent to jail or given the harshest possible punishment for a crime of this nature immediately.
Absolutely.
There is no surety of any kind of punishment. So these people who do it, they know they will be out on bail. You're absolutely right, Arnab. They will be out on bail. And then they'll take 10 years, 12 years, it'll go on and on.
Yes, I agree.
Meanwhile, they are living their life. The victim and the victim's family is suffering and having to face some kind of terrible questioning and going through the same process over and over again and having to relive it constantly.
That's the problem.
I mean, maybe.
No, I think you've
So
spoken.
I agree with you.
You've spoken what many people actually feel. And you know, just to simplify this, I can have this academic discussion on the death penalty. The only issue I have is that we had this whole issue debated ad nauseum in December. And you know, Prasoon, at that time, people felt things will change. If there's a potential rapist on the street, he says, what happened after all this?
Is this linked?
No, the law didn't change. I won't be killed if I carry out a rape. So nothing changes. And therefore, that mindset goes unaffected.
Absolutely. I feel that, as if we are just having the same, repeat of arguments
so
all
true.
over again.
So true.
And nothing has changed.
So true.
And I don't think what Farhan was talking about, the fear, I think it's very important to have that fear. And I don't think people, when they refer to Nirbhaya case today, they refer to is that bura hua, how horrific. It's not that things have changed after that. You know, that became a tipping point for our country.
Oh, yes.
And I think when we talk about, and I think I was listening to you earlier on your channel, and when you made a very important point, that when something like this happens in Bombay, now why it's become very important? Because it's supposedly representing India's, modern India, where, and we keep giving examples of Bombay being safe for women, Bombay being has no discrimination of any kind, people can come, and it's a karma bhumi. Remember, if you damage the karma bhumi, would you damage the psyche of this country, that they will not send their women out to work? I mean, how many people are going to go and convince that it's safe for women to work? And at the same time, you need to understand that lots has to be done on the psyche, because if you make great laws, who will implement these laws? There are people. If those people, and I'm not even keeping police away from this, because they also has the male psyche. I mean, if that has to be dealt with, I think it is a deeper problem.
So there's Gurbir, I'm going to come to you last. I just want to get in Brinda Grover, who's listening. Now, there's Brinda Grover on the program. She's a well-known lawyer, and she takes a completely anti-death penalty position, which applies in the context of rape as well. Before I get your response, what would you say, Prasoon, for that matter? Because you're among those who say tougher laws like Farhan. You're saying that with the way this disease is spreading, there is no alternative but the death penalty as a deterrent, right?
I don't know, death penalty, I mean, I would like to debate that, but definitely this is, as I'm saying, after 1 year, after almost 1 year, nothing has changed. The fear is not there. The fact that, what is fear? People keep saying that this is psyche change. Of course it's required, but intervention of a very definite kind is also required. At the same time, this is a cultural issue. I will come to it later.
We'll come to that later.
Yes.
We'll come to that later.
No, Arnab, if I may just add, the fact is that there is many things that need to happen. One is a generational change where you educate and you reform and you get people to start thinking differently. But in your immediate time, there are certain measures that need to be taken that can then be relooked at again if they need to be softened. But the fact remains that at this point, when there is a cancer that is spreading through society, should we keep saying, let's just keep applying a balm on the skin and hope that the cancer goes? It's not going to go. You are going to have to do some kind of a drastic action to instill some kind of fear in people's heads that they...
Everyone's talking that. Everyone wants that. Everyone wants that today. Something tough to instill fear. Before I go into the open debate round, Brinda Grover, and then I'll come to you, Gurbir. Brinda Grover, your response to the growing demand for tougher laws and for the death penalty as an option.
Well, this is not a new thing, and it's not everyone doesn't want it. Let's just say some people are saying it. There are multiple voices in this country. Let's not misrepresent facts. I am not taking any academic position. I engage with the law on a daily basis. I represent rape victims and survivors in court. I have been doing that prior to December 16th, much more post December 16th. I also work with women's groups. We are the affected parties here.
Really?
So while men may be expressing certain opinions, it would be relevant to hear what women are saying on this.
No, are you saying that those who are not working with women's groups are not interested parties and are not stakeholders? I'm getting a clarification from you. Do you begin with that premise?
The first rule of a debate is...
Do you begin on that premise?
I did not begin with that premise.
Right.
I began on many premises. You selected one that you thought you are going to get me at. So keep that on hold.
I'm not interested in getting at you. I'm simply asking you a question. And Brinda Grover, I think you're getting unnecessarily upset. Please continue.
You are. Because I do not subscribe to your death penalty. I think today raising the death penalty issue is an abdication of social responsibility of your channel. The problem is so grim. The problem is so serious. Death penalty is not a deterrent. This country hanged a man for rape in 2004. Did rape stop in this country? Does anybody have an answer for that? The reason why law does not have a deterrence is bias. The reason why law does not have a deterrence is because the system is not functioning. Can we put our energies? It's hard work. It's not going to happen in one stroke. Are we committed to that hard work? Rape is taking place inside homes. Are we going to talk
Yes,
about those rapes?
So did anybody
Are we
say?
talking
No,
about
did anybody say?
hanging every
Did
single
anybody
one of
say,
those?
Miss Grover? Did anybody make the argument that tomorrow, if there is a case of rape found inside a home, it will not qualify for the death penalty? The simple argument that is being made, and
Yes,
I think though you have a very strong view on it. No, I think you have a 1 minute, Miss. You see, Miss Grover, let's begin on a premise that everybody who does not agree with you is not necessarily a bad person. Okay. So let's begin on that premise. No, let's begin on that premise, and I request you. Everybody's put their point of view quite calmly. Everybody's put that point of view quite calmly. And Miss Grover, I expect you to please.
I'm calm. Don't worry
Calm
about
down,
me.
Miss Grover. I just want to tell you one thing.